Hey, good day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. I want to welcome you to today's session. It's our midweek update of, what is it? On the radar. See it up there? On the radar. Hey, remember, Active Trend Trading, we're here for you. Basically, it's a tested and proven system that focuses on helping you trade your way to wealth and also financial freedom. We're having a lot of fun this year. It has been kind of a pain in the butt to kind of trade this year, but at the same, no, so too many butts around here. You want to hang on to the end of today's session because I'm going to be covering 3 stocks from different industry groups to give you a flavor of what's going on. Each one of them may be setting up, getting close to a buy, and I want to show you one that and let you know why it looks like it is, but it's not. And so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then you're in the right place. And so let's go ahead and jump over to today's session. Okay, starting with the S&P. I went ahead and laid in the Fibonacci's and kept them in place for you just to take an eye on to see how far we've actually drawn back. And the fibs that I'm taking a look at on the, it's amazing how well this works, is I was tracking from looking for symmetry of this pullback right here. And as you can see, on these Fibonacci extensions, I just basically pull back to here. Then I basically brought the line up to this high right here and then project it down. And as you can see, it's amazing how the Fibonacci's work like this. If you wonder about how Fibonacci's work or how to use them, check us out over our YouTube channel. And if you're not a member of our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. And you'll be notified when we do post new training videos and also these update videos, which are something that you want to be taking a look at. So what do we have going on here? How far did it come down? Okay, I always like to kind of take a look at it. Okay. My Fibonacci projection was to come down to about $443.06. How far did we get down to yesterday? Okay, $443.22. So not exact, but there's some operator error in how you draw, in the thickness of the line and how you draw them and all that kind of stuff, but pretty darn close to projecting where it's at. So what kind of a candlestick do we have on the S&P right now? Well, we have a nice bullish harami. It is inside yesterday's body. However, we finished up the day where right up against the 8 and the 20-day moving average. Oftentimes we'll get a pullback into the body of today's candle. And if I was going to be trading the S&P, that's what I would be looking for. What can we, when we're sitting there looking at trying to see what's going on, what's different about this time down? And well, one of the things you can see that's different, we've had a lot more selling, and also the 8 and the 20 have come really, really close to crossing. Now, some people, some people have been projecting we're in need of a large, correction or larger correction down 10% or more. And while I agree with that sentiment, you have to trade the chart that's in front of you. And if the chart in front of you is saying, don't sell it yet, that's what we have to do. TSI in this particular case, the True Strength Index, we're turning up where it tends to find support down about the -25 level or the 0 line, and we're expected to move up. This last move down was done on negative divergence. Same thing. What makes this reversal suspect to me is what's going on here on our is basically the market forecast intermediate line, momentum line is still pointing down, hasn't turned back up. At the same time, though, weekly wise, I'm still driving sideways. And so I have to look at this as long as I haven't really, taken out the 50-day moving average and closed below it. I have to still look at this as being pullbacks into a level of support and a bounce. we take out yesterday's high and bounce back above the 8-day moving average, that would be a potential trigger in the SPYs. Qs. What's going on with the Qs? As you see, Qs, really nice move off of the fib box. This is the magic fib box. It's a 38% retracement on the top, 618 on the bottom. In the middle of that is the 50-day. We were expecting to get a little bit deeper down into it, but sometimes if we are in a strong trend, you'll only get down to the 318 or the 38% retracement. And so that, what is that fib box here? It's from this low to this high. And as Charles Dow observed many years ago, is that when you've had a nice uptrend like this, you can expect some kind of a pullback between 1/3 and 2/3, which just happens to work out to be like a Fibonacci. Do we have a shift of momentum yet? Do I have a bullish? Do I have a bullish candlestick? The answer to those two, part of our checklist, no. I had a short-term turn up on the market forecast. It looks like it maybe wanted to slow here and bounce back up. We'll see. I mean, we would need to take out today's high if you're going to be looking to trade the Qs. Take out today's high, or if I get a retest back down toward these past lows over here, and I'd put an alert in about the 375 level, 375 for my alert. If I get down to that and I have the alert send me an email, I would go in and look at the chart to say, okay, is now a good time, or do I have a reversal signal now? Because as of right now, PSI has not crossed to the upside, as you see over here. Normally, we want to wait until we have, one, if I'm going to take a trade before I cross, I have got to have a candlestick reversal pattern to the upside, a bullish candlestick reversal. So that's what we got with the Qs. IWM was selling off nicely yesterday. However, it's close to, but not quite, a piercing line, which is a bullish signal. PSI starting to turn up. Market forecast, kind of trying to bend up to the upside. But oftentimes, what can happen is, look at all the moving averages that the Russell is below. It's below the 100. It's below the 50. It's below the 8. It's below the 34. It's below the 50. I mean, I've already said 50. The positive side is we are above the 200. I really like that 200 because it was at the middle, at the bottom of the fib box. And so I'm going to be watching this one right now. Similarly, positive. I have a bullish bullish reversal signal. My momentum has not shifted back up to the upside, but it is at a level of support where they tend to shift back up. So we'll see if that transpires. This turns out to be a little bit weaker signal than if the TSI was all the way down at the bottom. But again, the market forecast still pointing down. What do we have here on the weekly chart? Market forecast is below the upper 80 line, which is typically a signal you don't want to necessarily take any long trades when it's like that. And TSI is trying to move around, but hasn't done so yet. So we'll be watching tomorrow to see what transpires. Where would I look at a potential buy on this? That's okay. Well, one, let's interpret this. One, I had a hammer right here 3 days ago. That is a positive sign. So even though that hammer was voided with yesterday's and today's price action, I still have to take that in consideration that buyers were trying to come in and move this market back to the upside. There's a lot of inertia going on out there with the new tax potential. Let's face the fact, it's not a potential. The new tax burden that's going to be put onto small businesses. The Russell is made up of small cap stocks, and so they're the the lifeblood of our economy and getting people, and so if they are going to be burdened with that headwind, we could see a fairly significant, again, I started last week's how to make money trading stocks and options video last Friday. I started it with the concept of, there could be circumstances that are set up due to so many different reasons. One, the debt, inflation, an overzealous new federal government that wants to tax the crap out of you, and also businesses, tax businesses, and they want their hands in your knickers. I mean, basically, let's call it the way it is. They want to basically control the money you're going to spend. I mean, so with that being the case, that could set up a environment or an atmosphere where the market says, you know what, I'm out of here, I'm done, and go. So projecting, I said, the downside could be somewhere between the Great Depression of 1929 and the tech bubble burst, or even the housing bubble burst that we saw in the 2000s. And so, again, I am not calling a top. I am not doing that. I'm just saying the seeds are being sown. We'll see if we can get across and through those. So with that being said, you got to trade the chart that's in front of you. Am I going to take a trade in IWM right this moment in time? No. It's got to prove itself. It really has to prove itself. Now, I do have this is a nice flag. I have to give this credit. This is a nice flag. So if I take out the highs there of that flag, that would give us okay, that could be considered a good momentum shift, and TSI breaks to the upside. That changes the complexion of this particular potential trade, because then that would be giving me a higher low with probably a free reign all the way up here, at least to these past highs, and maybe even up to the past highs here. One of the things to keep into consideration, one of the other things to remember is that the Russell, the Russell tends to rally during the October, November, December timeframe, somewhere in that range, and tends to run. This is a seasonal thing, and it has a tendency to outperform the other two indexes. Will that come to fruition this year? We'll see. We'll see. Right now, and the thing about it is we just want to make sure that we get in the way of it, if in fact that does happen. Let's go. So, hey, as I said, here are a few stocks I want you to look at and keep your eye on. I guess I'm going to show you four. I'm very pleased with, pleasant surprises. Love pleasant surprises. CROX was a stock we identified on our autopilot trading system this past weekend. And so here, where was the weekend? That was right there, where it was pushing back up into that area. And basically, we put in an order to buy some down at about $140. And it blew through that, our buy on Monday, but on Tuesday, it come running back up through our buy point. We were filled, and actually, we hit our profit target number 1, which is up about 7 to 10%. And so now we basically have put the rest of this, rest of this trade totally on autopilot. We've got a percentage trailing stop that if this just keeps climbing, that's great. We stay in the profitable place we want to be, and also we're protected from the downside. So this is one of those where we pyramided in to the position where we bought 50% down here, added another 30, added another 20, and so and then pow, same day hit its upside profit target. So I'm sitting there going, I'm a happy camper. I mean, so often this year we've had several trades where yeah, we had a round trip, but it was a round trip in the other way, which I don't like that. But again, the autopilot trading system has been working really well, and we've made some slight refinements to it that where we're doing some pyramiding and getting into larger position sizes, still according to our rules. We're not violating anything, and our returns jumped about 12+% in the August timeframe from what it had been the whole year prior, because we were a little bit too cautious, and so we're moving in the right direction. So there's one. The other stocks I want us to take a look at is Deere. And let's just run through these really quick. And do we want to buy or do we not want to buy? Because we're getting a pretty nice setup. I just got to pull. Okay, excellent setup on Deere. I had projected on Deere. Here's what we had projected. I had drawn an extension, and so this was a fib extension where we're looking for symmetric of that move down, and we were shooting that up to this high, and so that gave us a 78% retracement and a 100% retracement. If it was 100% symmetric, it would hit this 100% mark right there. However, it is basically stopping short of that at the 786. That's considered a positive. Now that we have that projection, it is basically almost a piercing line, which is kind of a kissing cousin of a bullish engulfing. It is considered a bullish reversal candlestick, and so we're at a level of good support, as you can see there, pushing back out. The downside, okay, which makes this a questionable trade. Look at all the junk it has to get back through. It has to get back through all those moving averages. And I can also now project up. Well, if our today's low does turn out to be a good low, where is it likely to go? Well, again, I go here, grab my Fibonacci extension tool. Now I would be expecting a symmetric move from where? From here to here. And we'll give you a target on this to the upside. And then pull that back down to, why did I do that? Yeah, okay, no, that's right. Sorry about that. So if we have a 100% symmetric move, if this is a reversal signal and this is a good low, then that's going to put us up to about 402. So how far is 402 away from where we're currently at? Well, 402 is up about 11%, but look at $42. So if you're an option trader, keep that in mind. This could be an excellent option trade for either doing some spread work. Deere tends to be a little bit less volatile, so you could actually potentially do even a directional. When is earnings coming up? Earnings are coming up on 11/24 before the market. So keep my eye on this one. Again, the issues. Get back up above the 100-day moving average and get through this cluster of junk right there. And so that's Deere. Next, RIOT. RIOT did have started to do a reversal today. Okay, the issue with RIOT is, why is this? I mean, this is a good signal. ESI is trying to cross up from the lower level. Positive. I had a 3-line cluster on my market forecast. If you don't know about the market forecast, I'm going to be doing some training on that in the near future for our members, and you want to be so 3-line cluster. Typically, 3-line cluster, if you get one on the market forecast, somewhere between 1 and 4 trading periods after that, you're going to get a reversal. The reversal can be from a lower price than the price it was at when it had the 3-line cluster. With that said, I do not have a bullish reversal candlestick. I am operating from a past level of support. So there are buyers down here. I'm moving, and so am I going to bust on up and move higher? We'll see. As you can see, the other thing you can see here, all those moving averages there, that would be resistance we'd have to bust through. Normally on a trade like this, we have a low, a higher high, a lower high, a lower low. So in reality, do we take the counter trend, shorter term counter trend trade back up to the moving averages? You have to determine how much you could expect to get from that. And right now you could expect to get about $2.50. So at the same time, longer term, this is a nice looking flag type or pennant type of looking pattern. However, it's starting to get close to the apex, which can be looked at as being a not good sign. So the other one, DOCU. DOCU was, earlier had gotten the snot beat out of it over here with, just after earnings, and it ripped down. Okay, this is one of those warning signs, Will Robinson. We got down to a level of support. It stopped. That's good. Happens to also be right on top of the Fibonacci magic fib box, and that magic fib box that I drew there is from this low here to that high. So it's basically the middle of that is down about 250. So we may be getting a reversal up to the upside. I do not have a reversal on. I have a started to tick up on my TSI. I do not have a cross. I kind of want to wait for a cross. It is crossing. It looks like it wants to cross close to the low reversal zone. 3-line cluster as of yesterday. And so I'm within the range thinking that this could be a move back up. Downside is prices are below what? All these moving averages, and that's a big one right there for us. That is the 50-day. That is the 50-day. Oftentimes what we'll see is you'll get a really nice rebound on additional, and this had above average buying volume, so you get a rebound, but where's the rebound to? It rebounds right back up into the moving averages and then reverses down. So that would be kind of a two-step type of pattern. So that's another thing. You can say, hey, I'm just going to trade this to the downside if I get back up into those moving averages. Resistance is up at $284. And I will show you one more. I'm in a giving mood today, huh? One more, Amazon. Amazon came up, did a really nice reversal pattern right here, but at the same time, our TSI, our market forecast, never rolled over on the longer term or intermediate green line there. And we do have a an odd bullish engulfing with a long tail. So bullish engulfing with a long tail. So it could bust on up here. What I would look, here's the way I would look at trading Amazon. One, I am not going to buy shares of Amazon. I am not going to put in a single directional option on Amazon. What I would look at doing though is if we are reversing, I come back down here and do a little bit of a retest, I would look at doing either a bull call debit spread or a bull put credit spread, one or the other. I kind of like the debit spread because Amazon, even though it's a $3,000 stock, it still has $5 splits between their the strike prices, depending on what strike, what month you're looking at, but $5, and so it gives you some nice leeway. But the market maker on this one is a stingy sucker because I was in a trade on Amazon from here with a downside profit target. I took basically, I think I sold the 34.90 I bought the 34.90s and sold the 34.85 puts. So it's a debit spread. And even though it ran 50 or 60 bucks, I mean, actually more than that down here, almost $100 away from where I'd opened the position, it was still like clicking in my favor, like a little nickel, a dime, and all that kind of stuff. And so I got into the trade at $2.28. I was able to get out of it today for $3.70. So considering there's still a week away, a little bit over a week away from earnings, I said, we'll take it. So, hey, if you like what we're doing here, if you like the stocks we're looking at, please let me know. Leave a comment down in the comment sections. If you want us to take a look at an individual stock that you particularly are looking at, leave a note down there also. And do me another favor as we continue to work on, just improving what we're doing with active trend trading and also on market tech talk is tell your friends. And if you know somebody who trades stocks or wants to trade stocks, tell your friends that the active trend trader is active. And if you want to join us also on Friday for how to make money trading stocks and options, that's a good time also. That goes at 11 o'clock Pacific time. So let's see, where's that handsome guy at? There he is. And so until next week, aloha. I hope I gave you some good trading ideas or trading thoughts. So aloha. God bless everybody.